Hello there and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing the final episode of the 60th anniversary special, that being the Giggle. So, let's get into it. So, what do I think of this episode? I had a great time watching this, like the Star Beast and Wild Blue Yonder. I just had a really great time watching it. I'd say so far this is my favourite out of the three specials, but when the DVD comes out in about a week's time, I'm going to just binge watch all of them in one sitting, and then I think I can give like a more rounded opinion on which is my favourite. But at the moment, I love this special. I love the Toymaker as a villain, and the night before this special aired, I watched the final part in the Celestial Toymaker story. I can't remember if it's called like the final act or the final game, something like that. I watched it, and considering it being made in the 1960s, it genuinely like unnerved me at some parts, especially with like that grown up child person, and with Stephen and is it Dodo? I think in that game, it really unnerved me at some points. But the Giggle is such a really good story. I love Neil Patrick Harris as the Toymaker. The way he can do like just switch for different accents, like the drop of a hat, is absolutely amazing. You see him going from American to English to like sort of German, Swiss-ish, something like that. It's just amazing. And then French, he can do like anything. If you think of something, he can probably do it. He's just like a fabulous actor. I have watched some of his things before going into the 60th. I did watch a series of unfortunate events. Big fan of that, and he plays a character called Count Olaf in that, and that's what I kind of thought the Celestial Toymaker, at least his version, would be like, and I was pretty spot on with my guess. So if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend it. Same with How I Met Your Mother. I think he's really good in that as well. I just think he's so eerily and creepy, and there are some scenes which really like quite unnerved me. Like for example, by the way, now we're heading into spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen the episode, then go and watch it. Then come back. But there's some bits when you see the Toymaker on that laser gun, and Kate says, "Oh, what happened to the ground crew?" And he said, "Oh, they're probably still falling." And then you hear like a sudden like thud, and you're like, "Oh, this guy means business." And yeah, that like really sort of gave me chills. And now let's go on to the more, would you say, controversial part of the episode, by regeneration. I don't know how I feel about all this. I did like Russell's explanation of it on the InVision commentary on BBC iPlayer. I did like it how now that 14 and 15 doctors bi-regenerated, that means every doctor in the past bi-regenerated. That was kind of what I got from that, so that's why Sylvester McCoy looks older in Tales of the TARDIS, and I really liked that aspect of it, but it kind of felt strange not to have traditional regeneration, but I really liked the way it was done, and apparently there was a leak about it going around beforehand. I didn't see any of it, so it was a complete surprise to me when he just like split in half. Shooty was that side and David was that side, and I don't really get why they like put a fake background behind David and Shooty, because it wasn't really that spoilery. We knew that there was a unit helipad, so I don't really get why it was a fake background. But I love the idea of bi-regeneration, how each doctor has done it, in which now it has more possibilities for for different doctors to come up and an explanation for them to look older. But one thing I'm not really happy about in the episode, and I'd say it's probably my only complaint, is that I think the scene at the end with all the nobles and the doctor sitting on that table, I think was a bit unnecessary. I would have just liked it to end. So the 14th Doctor saying good luck to Shooty. You see him flicking about with some controls and stuff, and then the title ends there. But it was nice to see it anyway. And talking of that meal, it was so glad to see Mel back. Obviously, we knew she was going to be in Series 14, but I had no idea she was going to be in the 60th. So it was a complete surprise to me. Great to see her back. However, I just don't really think she had that much to do in the story. And I think the runtime could have been maybe extended a bit to maybe sort of Power of the Doctor runtime length to sort of explain it fully, which would have been a lot better. For example, the sort of madness that the human race is experiencing in that time, in like the time where Stooky Bill is possessing everyone. You didn't really get to see much of that beyond the first 5 minutes, and I think it would have been a lot better. It would have been a lot better for them to focus on that instead of just rushing straight into the unit part. But overall, I really liked it. The creepy scene in the toy maker's domain with the puppets and the Stooky babies and Stooky Sue. I really, really like that scene. I mean, I'm terrified of like those kind of like creepy, realistic puppets. And the scene in the sort of puppeteer room with the Doctor and Donna, I thought that was great, showing all past companions from 2005 onwards and the flux. I do really appreciate how Russell T Davies is addressing Jodie's era. I think that's great. And obviously a little Easter egg into that the toy maker sealed the master inside his tooth, and the tooth was picked up at the end. So who could it be? There's a lot of theories out there. So it might be Jinx Monsoon, one of the guest stars in Series 14 / Season 1. Another theory is that it could be whoever the boss is, Beep the Meep's boss. I'm at the moment subscribing to the theory that it's Jinx Monsoon, but I'd love to see the Master return. Ideally, I'd like to see maybe one of the old Masters, so maybe John Sim or Sacha Dhawan. Hopefully Sacha Dhawan, because I don't think he's really had that big of a chance to prove himself as the Master yet. He's only had like 3 or 4 stories like properly as the Master, so I definitely think that give him another era, maybe the 14th, 15th Doctor's era, and I think you could definitely show off his acting muscles. Now, seeing Shooty at the end really made me excited for his era. I really, really can't wait for it. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the future. And I just really hope the toy maker makes another appearance, because he's definitely in my top 3 favourite Doctor Who villains now. And talking of the toy maker, I don't know if there's been a release date for it yet, but there's getting an animation of the Celestial Toy Maker story, which looks really like creepy, and I love the animation style. It fits that story so well. I just thought I'd add that bit onto the end of this video. And I will definitely be getting that story. So, yeah, it kind of feels weird to think that the 60th anniversary specials are over. But overall, I think they've been really good, and we've been treated a lot by Russell T Davies. So I really, really, really enjoyed them. So let me know what you think to this special and as the 60th anniversary specials as a whole. Let me know in the comment section down below, and hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.